Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Pine Hollow Auto Diagnostics. I'm on I call it the Genie farm. Got in here last night, southern Michigan, and hopefully today we'll finish up this Genie lift boom hiding behind that huge barn over there. So my comrade Vlad is supposed to join me real soon, and we'll see if we can get it running 100%. Alright, here it is. So last time, if you remember, we actually got it running. It stayed running. The only thing we have left to do is fix this electronic governor. And Vladimir, who is the cameraman right now, actually designed a simple circuit to prevent this box from burning up. So instead of using the driver in here to carry upwards of 5 amps, so we assume this thing is shorting out. But we still want it to, try to make it work. Even if it carries 5 amps, doesn't matter. But we don't want the current going through here. So, using his circuit, we'll, hook it up later, and we'll see if the small current control here through a transistor, right, can control the large current here. We'll see. However, customer complaint after we left last time. He said he test drove it. On ground control, it works fine, just like we left it. He switches it to panel control and starts it from the platform, and he said it does the same thing. Start, run, stall. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Same problem, but only on the platform control side. Okay, well, we're back, so let's try to figure out why that happens and go from there. So I guess we'll just start by see if it starts on ground control. This little choke solenoid is there. Okay, so I don't know. Let's see if it starts. Give it a little throttle if we need to. Oh yeah, all right. So off, on. There. Now he said he hooked up the fuel line to the main tank, so I hope there's enough fuel in there. Let's try again. Oh. Let's let it warm up a little bit. Sounds like the lack of fuel again. I don't know if there's a fuel shut off somewhere. Ooh. This is the fuel tank. You can see the fuel level right here. That should be good. Alright. So I'm wondering what that does to shut it off. Obviously it works. It definitely doesn't shut off the relay, but start it up again. Okay, Vladimir is afraid of the Big Bang. That only happens after it sits when it's hot because the fuel vapors fill up the intake manifold, so I'm not worried about it when it's cold so far. But we will put on the air muffs eventually. The safety first, right, Vladimir?
Yep.
Oh, you're still on the permanent vacation?
Yep, my favorite one.
When are you leaving back for Russia?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, wow. Okay, so this is the last day. Hopefully we can get this thing 100%. So now, what I want to do is turn it to platform control. You hear a little beeper over there. And then Vladimir's going to hold the camera here on this relay and see what happens. So what we want to see, like when we're on ground control, if you remember last time when we started up, the relay, the contacts first jump up. It's energized because there's no oil pressure. Once the oil pressure comes on, and the oil pressure switch opens, this relay should be de-energized. And let's just recap here what happens. Sorry for the small print, but there's CR3, and it's controlled by that loose limit cable switch, which we disconnected, the water temp switch, which we also disconnected because there's a partial short to ground, and this oil pressure switch. So when that opens, relay is de-energized and it goes back to its right here, normally closed state, keeping PR1 on and keeping the thing running. And as far as we can tell, this is all common. The only thing that is different between ground and platform control is where the power feed comes from. Right here there's a splice, there's a diode and a splice, so everything from here is common. There's separate lights up on the platform supposedly, but those shouldn't really have any effect, and it does start, stall, run according to the owner. You can see here's the start engine switch, so this works, and CR2 is energized, so this splice right here, that's common, so that works, and the ground control works. Why does it not stay running? That is the big question. So what we want to focus on obviously is CR3. So the contacts at first, once it starts, they should close because there's no oil pressure. Once the oil pressure ramps up, they should open and keep PR1 right here energized. So let's see if that happens. Okay, so just to review, in ground control, watch CR3. So first you turn the key on, it shouldn't do anything. Okay, so it's on, right? And when we start it, it should come up and the oil pressure will rise and it should come back down. So it did the right thing, right?
Yep.
Try again. Okay, perfect. Nice. Let's see what all the other relays do, just for fun. Okay, just a second. So I'm looking at number 4 here. Just wondering how this thing disables itself. Okay, so when I shut the key off, the only one that changes is number 4. I'm just curious how this thing disables itself. Then where is CR4? Right here, right? So it's the fuel. It goes up to the fuel switch. And there's the control side for the fuel relay. So when you turn the key off, you see you lose the feed through here, de-energize CR4, that turns this off, and turns off the feed to this gas or propane selector, and that disables the gas solenoid. So I think this guy is key. So the same thing should happen if there should be a fuel switch here. Where's the fuel switch? See, there's gasoline or propane, right? And we should be able to switch between the two fuel sources. Where do we do that? See, it says, is there only one fuel switch? I think it must be on the platform then, right? I think it must be on the platform. Right here, gas or propane, right? So that switch right there should be on the platform. So if that light isn't on, then our fuel solenoid isn't energized and we get a fuel cut. I think that's how it shuts itself off. Okay, so we turn it to platform control. So this is ground control, lights up here. Platform control, we don't see the fuel light, which is interesting. And we have some kind of beeper up here. So I guess we can just hit the starter switch, which is this guy. So that's what he said, right?
Yep.
This sounds like it's the fuel solenoid's not turning on. Or CR3. Okay, very cool. So do you want to, let's see. So in ground control, let's have a known good. Ground control here. We'll hit the starter. Watch CR3 and CR4. Okay. So in running state, known good. CR4 is, let's see, I guess up, and CR3 and CR4, let's just double check. Up, normally down, and then I shut it off. This one's normally up, this one's normally down. When I shut it off, this one goes up and disables the fuel. Now we're going to go to platform control. And Vladimir is going to hit the starter. Very cool. Try it again. Yes, it is CR4. So CR3 is good because we already fixed everything here, and that is a common, everything's common on CR3. Fantastic. So we just have to focus on this fuel cut solenoid, CR4. Okay. When Vladimir started it, it was actually like first it went down and then up immediately, and it disables fuel. So excellent. So our diagnosis is almost complete, right, Vladimir?
Yeah.
Well, that's what we thought last time too, and then we spent another 4 hours. So, but we have all day today, so no problems. Okay, so we just confirmed that on platform control, this CR4 fuel shutoff relay is not doing what it's supposed to. So we have to focus on the control side. When Vladimir hits the starter on the platform, you can see that relay, let's see, it's normally open, so it actually closes like it's supposed to. So this circuit's good. But then when he releases the starter, it opens. So we don't have a feed here like we do on the ground control. Now check this out. What feeds the control side of CR4? Well, it is exactly coming from our ignition switch. So on ground control it works. So this wire is good, it feeds through the splice, and then when the engine starts there's a little vacuum switch, that closes, and we get a constant feed to CR4, the fuel relay. Excellent. But now in platform control, when we're supposed to have a feed to the splice and to the CR4, that does not happen. So our problem is somewhere between this splice and this main junction, I guess, the button. Because we know that our starter switch works from the platform, so the feed is good to here and out to here. But we suspect there's a problem somewhere in this leg. Also, an interesting note that Vladimir made is when I turn it to ground control, on the platform, this little water light dimly lights up. This guy right here. And when you turn it to platform control, Vladimir, can you turn it to platform control? The beeper comes on and this light goes out. Interesting. So there's definitely an issue here. We're, again, very close, but who knows? We might be far. Somewhere in here, or the wiring through the entire boom. So what we're going to do is try to track that down, see why we don't have a feed on CR4 from the platform. Because, I mean, it can't be that hard, right? Alright, so we're focusing on this wire right here from the platform, the red white, it says red white 1, I think, through a diode to this splice. It says TB36. And on our splice diagram, so 36 is right here. It says vacuum / fuel. So we have 4 slots, and that guy is right here, 36. They're all red and white wires. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can see that there's a black wire right here, and it says, I think it's labeled with like a number 1. This thing has been rewired. See all these black wires? I believe that they are fresh, as in not original. Because, come over here, see all these wires coming out? I don't think they're original because we have a lot of splices here from the original wire to these black wires. Why rewire it? I don't know. I don't think all the wires could have broken in the, you know, boom track, but I guess it's possible. Maybe it's a common procedure. I don't know. But what we have to do is also find 36 on here. So it goes up to 24. You have to count manually since someone peeled the numbers off, and see if we have the feed, that red and white wire, on the platform. If we have it here, then we need to see which black, new wire goes from here back to the ground control box and see if we have circuit integrity. Okay, looking at the platform control box legend, number 36 is indeed vacuum power red and white -1. So let's get our test light out and try to find this guy. Okay, so we have a test light. We know that our ground is good because on pin 19 we have a constant power when we're in platform mode. Excellent. Now, 36, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 34, 33, 34, 35, 36. Right here, we have a blank slot. There's nothing on this side. There's nothing on this side. However, we see a red and white wire right here, and it's spliced to one of the new black wires. And this guy is hot. Now turn the power off, Vladimir. Okay, good. And turn it back on. Excellent. And if we hit the emergency button, we should, let's see, we should lose, so 19 should still be hot. Yes, but we should lose the feed here, and we do. So you pull the button, and this wire is now hot. Look, so okay, so it's one of the new wires here. Fine. And the only way to distinguish these wires, they're all black, but they do have numbers printed on them. Let's see, this guy right here. Yeah, that's probably better for the camera, right? This guy is number, let's see if we can find the number. Okay, right there. I see a number printed on it. Turn it around, It is 1, 9, and there's a little mark under it. So it's wire number 19. That's the one we're looking for back on the ground control. Let's grab our test light, go over there. So if everything's wired right, number 19 should come to splice 36 over here. And we do see a new wire coming in. And what wire is this? It is 1. Well, that doesn't match up. Now, there are 3 bundles of wire here. Okay? And they all have like 20 wires. And out of this bundle, you know, number 1 comes to where number 19 I think should be if they wired it right up there. So looking around for number 19, we did a little bit of digging. Out of the same bundle, number 19 actually comes over here. There it is, 19. It comes to this relay right here. I don't know what this relay is, but that's where it goes instead of splice 36. So what we can do is first check our test light. Good. So when we turn the key to platform, well, don't do it yet, so it's off, right? This test light should light if that is the right wire coming from the platform. Go ahead. And that's it. And just to verify, okay, it says 19 on it. I'm going to disconnect this crusty, twisty, you know, they didn't even solder or anything. This is just, I would say it's a hack job. There, disconnected. So now, we'll do the same check with the test light over here. Okay, we'll do a turn on. That's it. That is our wire. Instead of coming to splice 36, it comes to this relay. So we either have to figure out what this relay does, or connect, I guess we can find wire number 1 up there. We can disconnect number 19, put it over here. A lot of variables, but for now, the owner's wife made us some breakfast, so that's what we're gonna eat. Okay, so after a very delicious breakfast, back to the Genie. What have we determined? Okay, so the wire that's connected to this wire 19 at the platform is connected to that red and white. And always back to the diagram. This guy right here, this red and white wire, it's, you know, rewired obviously, number 19, and instead of coming to this splice 36, it comes to this mystery Mexico relay. I think it's aftermarket, but I'm not sure. But anyways, it comes in right here. We verified that. And this green wire is a really big, thick gauge for a control wire, but okay. And it comes here and it's just grounded. So that's the control side of this mystery relay. On the load side, we have this red wire coming from our ignition switch. And that is the platform you know, setting right there, platform. So these two are hot when you turn it to platform. This guy right here, 19, does go to the platform. We verified that with the test light. And this guy right here comes to our mystery relay. Again, looks pretty aftermarket to me. But then on the other side, the load side, there's nothing connected to the other 2 pins. So there's no way we're going to come from here to 36. That's it. That's our problem. That's why the CR4, the fuel relay, isn't even being energized from the platform. And the last thing I want to do is determine where this number 1 wire goes that's tied into 36. Okay? So number 1, it goes somewhere to the platform. I want to see if this is actually wired into like the water, you know, light, and we could actually fix all the problems here by doing some wire tracing. So we're gonna poke around a little bit, go back to the platform, and figure this thing out very soon. Okay, so we definitely have some weird aftermarket wiring issues here. So this number 19 wire comes to this mystery relay. That should go to pin 36 on our junction box. Instead, we have a number 1 wire coming into 36. So the question is, where does the number 1 wire come from? Well, after doing a little bit of digging, number 1 wire coming from this center, gaggle of wires actually goes to pin 35. Now this wire, let's see if we can focus you in. Let's get some lighting on there. Here my finger is, that's number 1. This wire is kind of stretched. That goes to 35. And now 35 is a red and black wire. If you look on here, 35 is actually goes to our gas or propane switch. And that guy, if you trace the wire, here's the black and white, or sorry, red and black, it indeed goes to our switch. So right now, the way this thing is wired, this number 1 wire goes to junction 36 on the ground. I mean, the ground control, not like a body ground. So anyways, pretend there's a jumper between 35 and 36. So just draw a wire there. What happens? You turn the key on, and remember, our fuel light comes on, right? Because power goes, only on the ground side, the ground control. Power goes here, through that wrong wire, and then it lights up our little gasoline light right here. See, it says gas. That's not supposed to happen. That light's only supposed to come on when the engine starts and PR1 is energized, and then through CR4, that feeds power to this switch. So basically what I'm saying is, right now when we turn to ground control, that is not supposed to light up. It's only supposed to light up when you start the tractor. So what we want to do is, this number 1 wire, number 19, they're on the wrong slots on our junction box. So we just have to rewire this. 35 here should go to 35 over there, and then 36 here should go to 36 over there. And then after we do that, we'll see if the thing actually stays running from the platform. So Vladimir brings up a good point here. We have to be very careful of the labels of our junctions. So TP36 is platform 36, and TB36 is ground control 36. So these ones are actually the same wire, red and white, but TP35, the one on the platform that goes to our fuel switch, is not the same as, for example, TB35, which is the red and black wire energizing CR4. So obviously we're not going to run a jumper from here to here, but we are going to remove the jumper that's right now tying, I guess, TP35 from the platform, the number 1 wire, and it goes to, right now, TB36 on the ground. So we can even draw that in. So the wire comes from here, and it's labeled number 1, right? And then the number 19 wire, which one was number 19 again? It was TP36. So it went from here to mystery relay, right?
Yep.
And this is number 19. Excellent. So all we need to do really is, if we have the number 1 wire here, trying to think, So to CR4, we basically have to remove this guy and make sure we still have connections here and here. Alright, so here's the game plan. We have 3 wires that are wired in wrong. Right now, number 7 comes from our CR4 relay here. This black wire, number 7, and goes through that same gaggle, and it comes out on the platform and is not tied to anything. So let's verify that. I think what happened was they mixed up number 7 and number 1 because they look so similar. So here's number 7, and it's just hanging out. It was not connected to anything. And here's our 19 that was tied into this red and white. Alright, so follow along here. Number 7 at the ground control comes up to the platform, is just terminated nowhere. Then number 1 wire at the ground control is tied from 36, it comes here to number 35. Again, that's wrong. Finally, from the platform, number 36, this red and white was tied into the number 19, and then, you know, I just pulled that off to verify the wiring integrity. And that's this guy right here. So what's the quickest way to fix this? Well, let's leave number 7 at CR4 in the platform, or on the ground control. And here, all we have to do is tie it into pin 35. So on pin 35, we're going to unhook the number 1 and tie in the number 7, right, Vladimir?
Yep.
Okay, that's step 1. So this one, instead of number 1, that's going to fix this circuit. And then, since we already have the number 1 tied in on the ground control to 36, we're going to use the actual 36 terminal, plug this in to the bottom, and plug in number 1 from the top, right? And that will restore this circuit. And number 19, we're just going to leave out in that mystery relay. We don't really care what it does. And that should fix this whole mess. Alright, so wire number 19, we're going to disable this completely. I just cut off the end so no one is going to confuse that with anything later on. So we're going to leave that be. Yeah, this is crazy, but okay, so that's here. Forget about number 19. Done. Next wire, number 36, that right now comes to 35, right? And that is, okay, it's number 1 wire. Number 1, correct? We're going to disconnect from here. And the way we figured out to do this is use your test light and just push on the pin here, and it should come out. So this is number 1, right? What are we going to do with number 1? Connect it to terminal 36, which is right now is empty, right? And that is this terminal right here, Vladimir?
Yep.
Okay. So let's try that. Push here, insert, and it holds. Fantastic. Now, which wire should be on the other side of terminal 36? It should be the red white, this one, which was hot when we turned the key on, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so here. So we're going to put it in this side where it belongs. So far so good. In here, right? We're going to push down. Oh, slipped. Push down, go in, lock it in. Perfect. Number 36 is now complete. So here. So this wire we detach from 35 and put it on 36. Excellent. Now number 7, we're going to put on 35. The number 7 wire is this one right here, right? And we're going to put it on terminal 35, which is the the red and black on the other side. So right into here. Push and insert. Okay. So number 7 we connected to here. Number 1 we detached from here, connected to here. Good? Number 19 disabled. Perfect, right?
Yeah.
So now we should be able to run it from the platform. Correct?
Correct.
If everything goes to plan, let's try it. I think we did everything we need to do. Alright, so now when we turn the key to ground, we should not see the fuel light. Is that correct?
Correct.
No fuel light. Excellent. Now when we start it, and we should see the fuel light, and it should stay running. Correct?
Correct.
Maybe we should put on the headphones? Yes. Good idea. Okay, here we go. Okay, now, platform, the oil light's on here. Is that normal? We don't know. Let's see what happens to number 4. So watch these contacts right in here. Okay, Vladimir, go ahead. So now the question is this still dim? Did we fix this problem also?
Looks like that.
Now, you said before on ground control that water light was on, right?
Yep.
So is it still on?
No.
So we fixed that one, right?
Right.
So should we reconnect this guy? So it actually works. We could try it. We could ground. You know, pretend like it's overheating, and see if it shuts it off.
Okay.
Like you know, take this wire. Well, anyways, so it works. So we're gonna see if there's anything else we need to modify. So now we restored these wires correctly. The only thing that we haven't restored is this diode that was here originally at TB36. And obviously at TB36 we have no more diode because it's been rewired, this number 1 wire. So that is unfortunate. So we can either find a diode that's not used somewhere here, like for example, remember Vladimir, this one?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Where does this one go? Well, do we care? Probably not really. I don't know what this thing is. But if we can't figure out where this used to go, we can just take this diode and put it in series on the number 1. All right. Alright, so we're just kind of brainstorming, you know, what else is wrong with this thing, because we don't want to come back here again. I mean, we do, but we just want to finish up this project. So these diodes are actually very important. So remember last time when we disconnected the wire for the water temp switch gauge to actually not energize the CR3 relay? If you remember the loose cable limit switch, that was like hacked and tied together. That was constantly grounded. That's bad. And we also had a partial ground that was still keeping this relay energized. So we had to disconnect the water temp switch gauge as well. Now, where was it backfeeding to? Well, we just discovered that this diode right here that actually goes back to the platform water switch or water light is missing. So let's go to this TB29, right? So when they did this bypass wiring, I think they removed some diodes, which is not a good thing. So this wire right here, 16, there's supposed to be a diode here, just like there is coming from the, the ground side control. So this is good, but this is supposed to look like this, and it does not. So what was happening is the current was actually backfeeding through 16 back through this water light, and then, well, where is it going? Remember, it was turning on that beeper. Vladimir thinks it was grounding out through the actual beeper circuit. That's why we had a very dim light. The water light was dim. That is crazy. And the thing is, this was also wired wrong. So we didn't have, if we had 12 volts on here, it would not backfeed through the water light, right?
Yep. And
this diode is also missing. So right now we turn on ground control. We can start it from the platform. And I mean, we can prove it. So ground control. Okay, we disabled the stupid beeper because it was annoying. But you come back here. There's a key. Right? That's not supposed to happen. So those two missing diodes plus the wrong wiring explain everything. I think that's it. So we would like to wire this correctly, or we can just disconnect this number 16 because who needs the water temp light up on the platform, right? But we still need a diode on this number 1. Which one was it? It wasn't 34.
36.
36.
Yep.
Right, 36. This wire right here, there should be a diode on there. This guy. Yeah, so that one we actually really need. So if we can maybe cut that off somewhere and put it in here, that'll be a good fix. And by the way, this level sensor is actually the level of the whole machine. See, it has like a little bubble on it. And this thing is shorted to ground apparently. Because no matter what, when you plug in the wire that comes from that beeper, and with the key on, it actually beeps. Okay? Now, let me get the diagram. So, there's the level sensor right there. 3 wires. The black one's the ground right here. And then we have 2. There's a power feed and a the thing that comes from the beeper. So this wire, the blue and the red, comes from the beeper, right?
Yep.
And then this comes from our PR1. Now the question is, right now PR1 is off, right?
Yep.
So why does that make a difference?
It must be feeding some voltage.
So this level sensor, I don't think it's just a simple relay, right? I mean, it looks like a relay. It's supposed to be on or off, but it's never really off. Even if you disconnect the control side,
yep,
it's supposed to be normally open. And right now, the only way you can disconnect that stupid beeper is like that. So we don't really care about that again, right?
Yep.
Not critical. So we'll leave that disconnected, but we still need the one diode to prevent backfeed to the platform from, if you're on ground control, you're not supposed to be able to use the platform controls. I think that's we should fix that.
correct.
Okay, here's the second game plan. Number 16 wire that goes to 29. That is our water lamp from the platform. It has no diode, so this is wrong. We're just going to disconnect this guy. And this wire that is the water light for the ground control will reconnect, so that will work as it should. So that will at least be one thing that's proper. Now, this wire right here, again, it has a diode, and it goes to the platform, and it's actually just goes to, you know, the wrong pin, which is cut off. So this diode right here is not doing anything, so we're gonna take this out and actually wire it in to pin 36 to this number 1, right?
Yep.
So we're gonna take number 1 out, solder in the diode, and that should work. Or even easier, we can take this number 6 wire out with the diode. It's already soldered on. Put it in here instead of number 1, and up on the platform we'll just put in, you know,
better.
switch the wire. So less work. Path of least resistance, right, Vladimir? That's always the best path to take. Okay, after a few minutes here, we have some more nice modifications. Number 1 wire is now completely disabled. Number 6 with the diode, we put in pin 36, which is this guy right here. From the platform, it's the feed to our control relays. So that diode is now in place. And the way we can check that is turn it to ground control, right? And if there's no backfeed, our beeper will not work. And if we turn it to platform, the beeper should work. So, ground, no beep, platform, beeper. Fantastic.
Yep.
That's it. And we're still going to disable the beeper.
Yeah.
Because our level sensor is messed up. So we're just going to pull this. That was just for testing purposes, right? To test our diode.
Right.
No test light needed. But, you know, I guess we can verify. So turn it to ground control. We should have a feed on this side. Or...
Number 36.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. On this side we should have a feed.
Yep.
But on the back side, no feed. So that diode is working. But on platform, now turn to platform, now that lights and that lights. So one way check valve for electricity. Fantastic. So I like that. Got that figured out. No more backfeeding. Our water temp warning light is plugged back into 29, the one that we took out last time. And this number 16 wire for the light on the platform that did not have a diode, we just disconnected. So we're going to leave that out. And now, test run, this thing should, you know, first we'll do on ground control with earmuffs. Ground control, start. Okay, and platform. Ready? Alright, now the last modification we want to do is Vladimir's custom circuit for this throttle controller. And if we get that to work, then we'll actually test drive this thing and maybe go up on the roof or something. Hopefully that'll be a good time.